Hi, I'm Jim Harris. I'm just wanting to record a couple of thoughts I had associated with a recent Roman coin that was found at the Chester House estate as part of the Chester Field School 2025, run by the University of Leicester Archaeological and Ancient Studies. I think it's the School of, as well as supported by the University of Leicester Archaeological Services. The coin that was identified was a Carausius coin. They believe 90%. That's the video that they uploaded. So I started spending a bit of time having a look into it. And then I've been watching a video by Guy Bédoyère, I believe that's his name, and he talks about specific details of the conditions under which the coins were struck. And the early ones seem to have been done quite quickly and were restruck, and it looks like you can see elements of the crown at the bottom of the Caracius coin in the video. Therefore, it looks like the coin is the early stage of Carausius taking charge of Roman Britain, declaring himself Emperor of the North, and starting to quickly have to mint coins in his name. So the restriking looks to be evident in that coin. So that shows an early presence potentially of, or an early circulation within the region of that particular coin. Now, Guy goes on to describe some medals that were then issued later. He said that some of the coins that were then properly struck had RSR on it, and the word Saturnus was on there, which was I can't remember it exactly. Have a look in the comments, but it's the golden age. Having worked as part of the University of Northampton's development of an augmented reality app, I had to get the name Antonius Saturninus. Can't even get it right now. Antonius Saturninus or Saturninus. But that name, when I did get it right eventually, after having said it so many times, made me instantly think, well, that's now two names linked with Saturn or the Golden Age. So my posturing at the moment is the fact that we may be looking at the stone that was created or that was inscribed, which would have been an expensive thing to do, and for a strator who is a person who looks after the horses that we use as transportation, that there was a lot of money flowing through Urchester. If you connect that with the amount of booty that Carausius is alleged to have got through allowing traders to be raided by pirates and then just steal from the pirates, so steal from the pirates to then get more money and then bank it, which is why then he had to declare that they needed to separate, because Rome didn't like that, obvious reasons. So connecting that term, the Golden Age, with the strator stone inscription on the grave would associate potentially the person who commissioned that grave to be recognised in the Golden Age. So that might then be the reason why we could identify it within post 286 to 293, I believe it is, when he was assassinated by the accountant. But certainly connecting up the amount of money, and that was always a thing with that particular stone. That was a very expensive and very rare thing to normally have. A lot of money coming in, with Carausius being someone who organised the coastal regions. There may have been a point of, well, Urchester is right in the centre of the country, so was there a lot of trust and money spent in those communications? Was actually the kind of development of Urchester post the not earlier collapse, but the withdrawal and the issues where it had to defend itself, was that one of the kind of revitalisations of it? Potentially, if we can see any evidence of the pottery associated with drinking vessels and so on, with the wine production. So the wine production could be associated with the fact that they wanted to have a holiday camp away from the sea. Come to Urchester, spend your money here, and live in almost like the pirate life offshore. Fun, music, relaxation, no threat from any enemies because they control the whole region. Whatever the pacts might have been between certain areas, it's certainly not a defensive area. And the idea was that it was always a summer camp for officers. Summer camp for officers. The officer class, what are you going to do when you've got loads of money? You're going to have the best of things. So maybe that puts a connection from that one coin, the connection of the term Saturn as golden and the revitalisation, and why that was so important for someone to put onto their gravestone in Irchester.